I hope your day is full of wreaths and snowmen and snow women and gingerbread people and reindeer and sugar cookies and icicles and warm thoughts, positive vibes, lots of cider, all of the things. 'Tis the season, guys. I hope your day's full of jingle bells and reindeer ears. Reindeer ears? I don't know why I said that. Guys, we have an amazing episode of Shank for you this week with the one, the only Kassem G. But before we get into this week's episode, I just want to tell you about something that I'm excited to give my friends this year, and that's Oh Yeah socks. Oh yeah, look down at your feet. When was the last time you did something nice for your own feet? You buy yourself a pair of fun socks. Oh Yeah makes so many different fun sock designs. They collaborate with different artists to bring unique designs. If you head to their website, ohyeah.com, that's 3 O's HYEAH.com, enter discount code Sara, SARA 10 for 10% off. You can get a discount on socks and give your loved ones the gift of socks this year. Stuff your loved ones' stockings with socks. Whether they're into Aliens or Bob Ross or Mr. Rogers, there's a pair of socks for your lover, your brother, your sister. Whoever you need to buy a gift for, buy them a pair of socks. They're the gift that keeps on giving. No one ever gets mad at getting a pair of socks. Every time I get a pair of socks, I'm like, hell yeah, socks. And nothing makes me happier than opening my drawer and seeing all my Oh Yeah socks because they have so many cool designs. I have mushroom ones. I got alien socks. I have noodle socks. I have sweet potato fry socks. I have titty socks. Every type of sock you could ever want. Oh Yeah has a wide range, and it's a great way to support the show. Shop ohyeah.com, discount code Sara10. All right, guys, let's get into this week's episode of Shank with Kassem G. You know him from G4. You know him from Attack of the Show. You know him from the Pajama Pants podcast. And he is also my boyfriend. Let's do it. Here it is, guys.
Okay.
That's right. Guys, hi. Welcome back to another episode of Shank. Today's guest
This is going to be a high energy show.
This is going to be such a high energy show. I'm drinking Diet Coke. We got Kassem G in the building.
Yeah, look who came to party today. This is one of the most disgusting drinks.
Let's talk about it.
I just wanted to tell you, there's certain things I'm trying to experience from your point of view.
Okay.
I've tried to sip a DC every once in a while. And I just don't get it. It's not good to me.
Do you know what I think?
You're gonna come at me?
No, I'm not coming at you.
Okay.
I think that
I just took one of your DCs.
Yeah, you're wasting.
I'll finish it.
That's fine. Well, I do think it's interesting that you will leave a drink overnight and then finish it the next day. I do want to talk about that.
Okay. Do you like the fact that I use all of the buffalo and I don't waste, or do you think it's gross?
No, I just normally, when it gets to this much left, I lose interest in the drink a lot of times.
Sorry, I gotta pull you back.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I want you to sip more here.
Because this last sip to me is normally warm.
Yeah.
And feels like it's not even a clean full sip. So if it's not cold and there isn't that much left, I'm dumping it.
Here's the difference between us.
Okay.
I don't drink soda. Soda's gross when it's flat and warm. I'm drinking Topo Chicos, LaCroix.
Okay.
Pellegrinos, Perrier.
You're coming here.
There's a lot of
your
so when I sit it and it's out overnight, I come back to it. It's just water. It starts as a sparkling water. I come back, it's just water, and then I'm just drinking it. It's not gross. There's no loss of flavor. It's just loss of bubble.
I'm glad we're talking about this because that does make sense. Because could you imagine leaving a Diet Coke overnight?
I can't even imagine having it fresh cold out, like just pop the top to it.
Do you want to know what I think? I think that my mom drank Diet Coke and then she
her mother
had me.
before her.
Yeah, so it's like it's a weird genetic thing where I craved the chemical that my mom consumed. It's probably like some addiction thing that's passed on.
I know you guys. You know Matt Kugler.
Yeah.
Matt Kugler, DC guy. The DC people. You guys are a devout following, almost a cultish following for this brown water.
Yeah.
The sugar water.
Yeah.
There's something in it that keeps you coming back. He goes to the McDonald's and goes through the drive-thru.
Yeah.
And gets the fountain DCs.
Yeah. When I lived with my parents, my mom would call that my rent. And she'd say, you haven't paid your rent. And then I'd go get her a Diet Coke from the fountain of McDonald's. And
then she just kept... You would just keep living there as long as you got to give her fountain
Diet
drink.
Cokes. Yeah.
Your mother's a wonderful woman.
She is.
Except for just one thing.
What?
And I mean no disrespect by this. But she's a little heightist.
I did want to talk about this. Let's talk about it.
When we go there,
yeah.
Sarah's parents have a dining table that's like one of those ones where you can expand.
You can pull out the leaves
and
make it bigger.
So there's 4 of us, and your mother, your father, and you all share one side of it. And you guys are all kind of like clustered together. And then all the way on the other side is where her mom places me, because apparently that's where my knees won't hit, because there's some underneath the table. There's some like buttress or something that my knees would hit.
Yeah.
And so she's doing this out of the kindness of her heart. She's putting me at the end of the table so my knees don't hit. However, I've never felt more alone. I've never felt more distanced.
Well, okay, this is the thing. No one in my family knows how to act around tall people.
It's clear.
Everyone just completely shuts down, and no one knows what to do.
I feel like I'm walking around hobbits, and I'm Gandalf.
Yes, no one knows what to do with that much leg.
And I have a lot of leg.
My mom was like panicked that she said, okay, fine, Kassem, if you sit over here and your legs hit the table, then that's on you.
Let's rewind it, because I had to put my big foot down. I had to say, look, guys, I mean, no disrespect, but I don't want to sit here anymore.
He didn't want to be isolated.
And I came over to your side of the table, and guess what? Conversation flowed better. It was more personable. We had a great chat.
Yeah.
But when I'm at the end,
yeah,
I'm like, what are they saying? Like, I got my ear.
Well, because we're like small hobbits and we talk. Yeah, we're in our little hobbit hole, and you come in all tall.
Yeah, and I just want to be treated like everyone else.
Like a hobbit.
Yeah.
Like a Weinshenk hobbit.
I want to be like one of you. And then since then we've been getting along famously.
Yeah, since you moved seats at the table.
Yeah, I look forward to going there. I think about your parents a lot.
Let's talk about your classic holiday scent that you've been cooking up around the house lately.
Yeah, do you like it?
Yeah, you do it all. Not only is he
Yeah. No, go
working
ahead.
at G4, doing a podcast, killing it at what's your game called, honey?
Rocket League.
Rocket League.
Yeah.
You find the time to make the house smell like Christmas.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and so I think we should tell our listeners about your recipe.
Sure. I haven't talked about this yet with anyone.
Secret.
Yeah, this is my holiday. I don't even have a name for it. Maybe we can come up with one together. But essentially, it's a Christmas scent that I cook on a low simmer over the stove. And last night we let it go all night by accident.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's my problem. This is why this came about in the first place. And I didn't tell you this.
Okay.
But we went to your mom's house. This is how it started. I smelled a candle. Your mom has a wonderful scent happening in her home right now.
Yeah.
But it's a candle, and candles, since I have a big nose, I smell candles like it's a lot for my nose.
Do you think that's true?
I smell candles. I can
Do you
smell
think it
candles
has
like
to
I
do
can
with
smell
your
my neighbor's
nose?
candles. Like they're so strong, and sometimes they're so perfumey that they're not as natural as a natural scent. So we were at your mom's house. The candle she had was lovely, by the way. But then I remembered that I do this thing around this time of year where I get some ingredients and I put them in a pot and I low simmer it until Christmas. I don't change out the pot. I just add water and I just low simmer, and it smells
So
fantastic.
good.
So how would you describe it? And I'll get into the ingredients.
I would say it
Can you be in your own podcast, please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say it smells
Here.
warm and cozy like
Here you
the
go.
holidays. I don't know. It smells cidery, cinnamony.
Yeah.
It just smells so good.
Great.
And-
I'm
yeah.
so happy I get to talk about this.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what you're going to do, guys, if you're out there. And if you're one of the 6 women that listen to this podcast, this is something for you to go out to the market.
Or
and
if
get.
you're a man.
This is a man. Look, nothing emasculating about having a scent in your home.
No, nothing.
No. If anything, it's affirming. It tacks on a couple inches. I would recommend doing this, okay? We went to a Gelson's, which if you're out here, Gelson's are extraordinarily overpriced, but what you get in return is like, there's just a lot of like retired 80-year-old men that work there. And you get wonderful service, and everything is laid out, and there's a lot of wood grain, and it's like if your grandparents ran a general store that happened to be a major chain.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Gelson's is fantastic. What you want to do is get apple cider. You don't want to get apple juice. You want to get the cider because the cider's more spiced. Okay, we got 3 half-gallon jugs. To be honest, with the amount of time we have left before Christmas, you can just get away with one half-gallon jug right now. Get a half-gallon jug. Then you're going to go over to the spice section. Mm-hmm. This is where it kind of adds up because you need cinnamon sticks. Mm-hmm. Some of the stuff you already have in your spice cabinet, but if you know, cinnamon sticks are like, there's like saffron, gold, and then cinnamon stick. They're very expensive. And so you want a jar of cinnamon sticks, and then you want to buy what are called mulling, mulling, mulling spices. Now, sometimes they have them loose spice in a jar that you can just shake out, or they make apple cider mulling tea bags, so you can buy them in tea bag form. You're going to want to buy a couple oranges, big oranges. If they're small, get a bunch. If they're big, get 2. And then you're going to bring all that home, and you're going to get a pot, and you're going to dump that cider in there. You're going to slice up 1 whole orange, big round boys.
Yeah, big round boys.
Dump all the oranges in there. You're going to take the mulling spices, put them in there. You're going to get the tea bags. You're going to throw them in there. You're essentially making a giant cinnamon apple cider swill that you're going to bring to a boil, and then you're going to put it on simmer. And once it's boiling and then you simmer it, the vapors slowly release, and within an hour, your home is smelling like
Christmas.
It's smelling like Christmas. And all you have to do is refill it with water. The first night, you can drink it.
Yeah. The first night you can drink it.
First night you can drink it. We had it.
It was pretty good.
It was pretty good. It's nice and warm. This is not something for you guys to drink like throughout the week. This is just mainly for scent. And yeah, so every once in a while I'll add a cinnamon stick.
But you might want to eat it because it smells good. But
Yeah.
don't give in to the temptation.
Don't.
Trust me, I felt the urge to want to eat it before because I get stoned. I smell daddy cider in there. I say, what's going on?
Yeah.
I kind of want to taste it.
Yeah. I bet you if we tasted it right now, we've had it in there for over a week, right?
I think things could be not great.
You're constantly boiling it. It's probably fine. But you can see when you I stirred around with a big old spoon that when the oranges come out, they look good, but they are dark and they are soft.
Yeah.
Um,
They've lost their charm
they've lost their charm, but they've increased
in their
their
aromas.
scent. Yeah.
Um,
So that's my holiday scent guide.
what are you going to call it? What are you going to call it? Something elixir?
I mean, we could do something stupid like the Cider House Rules recipe or something, but like, maybe we'll let the audience, maybe this is a fun way for the people to engage.
Yeah, sound off in the comments. Let us know what you think the holiday scent
Yeah,
should be
guys, sound
called.
off.
Sound off. That's what I say now.
Yeah, sound off. Would love to hear what you think. It is a truly natural way to give your home. That combined with the tree. We got the tree the same weekend, and it was like the tree scent.
We became different people.
I'm different.
Yeah, I'm different since you
I've
introduced
changed.
the cider and the tree.
Yeah.
I just can't help but feel like
We're
my heart's
we're
warm.
warmer.
We're kinder.
We're kind. We give back.
We give back. We're charitable.
We're charitable. We're always thinking of others.
We're fun.
We're fun. We're responsible.
We're spontaneous.
We're spontaneous. We're risk takers.
When we list our strengths, I think people love that.
They love to hear we think our strengths are.
That's how we build ourselves up.
We've been doing
As a
that a
couple.
lot. Yeah.
We're fun. We're kind. We're thoughtful.
We're enigmatic.
I'm gonna need a thesaurus if this is gonna continue. What else? I have notes.
These
here.
cards.
I have cards. These are how
by
I
the
make
way,
my notes.
all that
What?
could have been on one card.
I know, but my
Yeah.
brain likes multiple cards. That's just how I do.
Do the people know what you do with the moon and the relationship that you have with the moon? Yeah.
I don't know. Well, kind of. I've talked about moon pots in the past with Stephanie Simbari, but I don't go fully out with it. We can talk about it though. We can talk about my moon habits.
Once every 2 weeks, guys, I get there's a look in Sarah's eyes, and there's a sense of urgency, and there's a sense of oh, there's a task at hand. And then when I ask her what's going on, like what's up, she's like, oh, it's a new moon tonight. We have to do a releasing pot or something.
Yes.
Or it's a full moon. We have to do an intentions pot.
Full moon's the releasing, and new moon is the manifestations.
Did you know, like, when we first started dating and I went with you to the rock store where you buy quartz and moon pot, did you know that I was interested? Like, what kind of guy would be doing this?
Yeah, I was like, he's down because he
down.
just bought a little cauldron.
Yeah. I bought a tiny cauldron and I was so interested in you. I was like, yeah. I knew I was into it because I didn't go like, what the fuck? Like, why did I just spend $150 at the store in Santa Monica on like 6 rocks and a cauldron and some sage and an abalone shell
And a positivity candle.
And so we've done it probably 4 times now.
Yeah.
And so last night we did a moon pot.
We did. We had a good one last
So
night.
she makes me write things on a piece of paper. And then we go out into the backyard and she puts like spices in this tiny witch's cauldron. And we light a candle, we play a song, and then we burn the things that we wrote. Mm-hmm. We take turns. Mm-hmm. And it's always so cute because you're always worried that there's going to be like a huge fire or something because you always have a glass of water and then you go, should I dump it? I'm like, just let it burn. That's fine. And you're always kind of
scared.
You're always kind of scared that it's like an ember is going to like cross the street and start like the world's biggest fire.
I'm afraid of starting a fire in Southern California.
Yeah. It's a good fear to have. But we have managed every time and it's come out and we have a relationship with the moon.
So what do you think about it? Could you do without it? Do you enjoy doing it? What are your thoughts?
I love doing it because you love doing it.
I love doing it, yeah.
Yeah, and I can see that it's something because you don't really have a lot of things in your life that you're very carefree,
yeah,
and you go with the flow a lot. And so when you have a thing that you want or need to do, I think I have to respect that and be like, oh, like this must mean
I like doing the moon stuff,
and I know you do.
Yeah,
and I hopefully what you see from me is a guy who doesn't like scoff or like look down because I think I'm pretty I'm pretty into
you're
it.
pretty into it. You're pretty cool about it. But
Yeah.
I have in the past dated guys who would be like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
It's a very easy thing to be like, this
bitch is
this
a
isn't
witch.
for me. Yeah.
This bitch is a witch. But I do think there's something to it in terms of writing your intentions and also releasing things that are no longer serving you. And just writing them on paper makes them feel more real to me.
I think there's something to that. For sure.
Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I think there's something to just the act of like thinking of something here and putting it on the paper.
That's what I think.
There's a release that's happening, and then there's a psychological thing that's happening when you're burning it.
Totally. It feels good.
Even if it wasn't the moon, if it was like, oh, we had to find 4 bullfrogs and like step on them. Like whatever the ritual was, it's the process of it, I think, that matters.
Yeah, that's what I think too, and the intention behind it. But I also
but the moon is a interesting
creature.
I mean, did you know
creature?
There's some facts about the moon that I can't seem to wrap my head around.
Okay, let's talk. Do you know them offhand?
I know a couple.
You know a couple moon facts?
So the moon rings like a bell. Have you heard this?
No.
So Apollo 12, when they were leaving the moon and they were in their capsule and it was launching off, they like dropped, I don't know, like some space garbage, some of their garbage. They dropped it on the moon when they were up high, and they had like a what's that, like seismograph thing. So they wanted to see what would happen when they dropped something from a high altitude and what the moon would do.
Okay.
And apparently it just reverberated for over an hour.
No.
Yeah, and they said it rang like a bell, and then they repeated the experiment on Apollo 13, and it rang for like 3 hours, indicating that the moon, this is why some people think the moon could be hollow, because it's... Okay. Other weird things about the moon. Thanks for tuning into Moon Talk, by the way. Featuring
Talk
Sara Weinshenk. The moon is unusually round for like a satellite body around our Earth. It's like perfectly spherical, which is kind of strange. It's not a huge moon fact, but it's a moon fact. Another moon fact is the sun is 400 times farther away than... oh man, I'm going to screw this up. But essentially, the fact that the moon is the exact same size as the sun in the sky is like a 1 in like a trillion chance of happening. So we get perfect solar eclipses.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
From a duality standpoint, that they would be the same size.
But that's like pretty
that's
unreal.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty unreal.
I don't know how you've been sitting on these moon facts. You've been saving them from me. We've talked about the moon in the past, and I haven't heard one of these facts.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun moon facts. There was, so when the astronauts would go, and we did like 6-7 lunar missions, and we never went back. So a lot of people find that strange. They ham operators, they can intercept transmissions that NASA is having with the astronauts, right?
Okay.
There was a private transmission that some ham radio operators intercepted, where some of the astronauts claimed that they saw flying saucers parked on the edge of a crater.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
On the moon?
And they said they're here, they're watching us on the moon. Now, this is all just somebody saying this, but apparently it made its way back down to NASA like within 30 minutes, and it was like one of these big deals. This was I think the big one, the Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, and you could see there's a press conference when they come back and they just look disturbed. They
really?
Look fucked up. Yeah, there's a video of them when they're talking about their experience. They're back down to Earth, and then they're just like, they're like not making eye contact. They look out of it. They look unhappy, scared even.
Because they just saw aliens
Maybe.
On the moon, potentially. I need to find this video.
Yeah, and then besides that, like there are some breakaway Nazi civilization that lives on the dark side of the moon that they rent space from, like the Reptoid civilization that lives
What?
there, but that's all.
Wait a minute.
What?
You just add that casually.
Oh, the fact that there are Nazi Germans
Reptilians.
that live on the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people believe that the Nazis perfected flying saucer technology because they were experimenting, and Hitler was into the occult and stuff like that.
I have heard this before.
And some people think that they were able to make their own flying saucers.
And now there's just Nazis on the moon.
So apparently they went to Antarctica, and they had a base in Antarctica, and then they went to the moon.
Okay.
And
I've heard this.
Yeah, there's some Nazi Germans that rent space from the reptoids, the Dracos, which are the sort of like the evil reptilian aliens. They look like lizard people.
Listen, I'm here for everything you're saying
Yeah.
because I am a little bit high.
I think this would be good. Yeah, this is exactly what you would want to hear.
This is exactly what I want to hear, but it's also, you're introducing me to all kinds of worlds. For instance, Lord of the Rings. We're on Lord of the Rings right now.
This is what I want from you right now.
Yeah.
We just watched Lord of the Rings less than 24 hours ago. What happened in the first Lord of the Rings movie?
Well, we open on Gollum, right?
Okay. Yeah.
It starts with Gollum, and he has
Interior cave.
He has a ring, and he's calling it my precious.
Okay.
And then which is also, I like that he calls it his precious. I don't know why. It's kind of cute in a weird, scary way.
Yeah.
Anyways, I've been calling everything my precious since watching Lord of the Rings, like the croissant. You got me.
Yeah, you did. What happened in Lord of the Rings?
I don't fucking know.
I want to hear. You just
Okay.
watched it.
Well, I get really stoned before because you're like.
By the way, we finished it this morning.
Yeah, no, I know what
It's
happens.
been like 12
I know what
hours.
happens. There's Frodo
Yeah.
Baggins. He is related to what's the other Baggins' name? Bobo. Okay, it is the halfway point of the show, which means one thing and one thing only. I'm going to tell you about my favorite edibles right now, and that's Punch. Anyone who knows me knows that I have a pretty high edible tolerance, and I'm very selective when it comes to what I will and won't consume. But right now, I'm most excited about Punch. Punch makes these amazing malt balls. They're infused. They're 10 milligrams each. They come in so many great flavors, from peanut butter to cookies and cream to strawberry. There is a malt ball for you, and they're infused with THC. So what better way to celebrate the holidays than with Punch edibles? They also make great stocking stuffers. They're in most dispensaries in California. Look out for them. Support the people that support the show. Let them know that you found out about them from Shank. And if you're in the dispensary, get some Punch and support the show. That's a great way to support the show. And their chocolate's incredible. They also make really great fruit snacks that have a really great gummy texture. They're the kind of like the fruit snacks you grew up with as a kid. I haven't seen many infused fruit snacks like these. I personally love them. It's one of my favorite things that Punch makes. In addition to amazing chocolate bars, they have like a sea salt almond bar. They have, my mouth is watering, mint chocolate. Whatever you're into, Punch Edibles has it in chocolate, and it's infused with cannabis. So I can't think of a better way to spend the holidays this year than with a little bit of cannabis infused chocolate, and give the gift of Punch. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Give the gift of high. Punch edibles, guys. All right, let's get back to this week's episode of Shank with the one, the only Kassem G. Here it is. He is related to what's the other Baggins' name? Bobo.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that right?
I don't want to. I'm not going to tell you whether it's right or wrong. I want to hear what's in your head.
Okay. So there's
Frodo and Bobo. And they're what? And what are they doing?
I think Bobo Baggins is Frodo's uncle.
Okay.
And he somehow comes in contact with the ring, right? He gets this ring.
Yeah.
And he then gives it to Frodo. And the second he gives it to Frodo, this shit hits the fan. Because this ring has powers, and it really belongs in Mordor, which is where Gollum first had the ring at the beginning, right? Is this right?
Just keep going. I just think you just keep
so
going.
Off?
I don't think you asked to know whether if it's on or off. I just think you tell me what you think happened in this movie.
No,
and that's
because
what's so
I
funny.
feel but also I could be completely wrong. Because
And-
I get
and that's-
so high.
And that's exactly why we're doing
Okay,
this. Yeah.
okay. And that's going to be funny for the listeners
Yes.
who know the Lord of the Rings probably better than me. Okay, so then Frodo's got this ring, right? And he's on this journey to bring the ring back to Mordor because the ring is bumming everyone out. It's bad vibe. It has bad energy. It's making people selfish.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, there becomes like there's a whole crew, kind of like how there is in the Wizard of Oz, right? It's called the Fellowship, and it's Viggo Mortensen, it's Orlando
What's his
Bloom.
name? What's Viggo's name?
No clue. Legolas is Orlando's.
Okay, but if you were gonna guess on what Viggo Mortensen,
Viggo Mortensen doesn't even need a name. He just steals the show, honey.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so it's Viggo, Orlando, so the squad is lit. And then you got Frodo and his friend. Oh, there's also the wizard. It's so hard to explain because there's so many things that happen in it. There's a wizard named Gandalf. He's the star of the show.
Okay.
He has a sick hat. He smokes a pipe.
Yeah.
He knows what's up. He's cool.
So what are those guys like? Why are they involved?
Okay, so the wizard, how does the wizard get involved? I don't know, babe. It has a lot of different just plot twists. I can't explain all of Lord of the Rings by myself.
Look, there is no
Can
wrong
you?
answer. Yeah, well, I just watched it.
Well, I just watched
I know,
it
but
too.
I'm so interested to know what it sounds like coming out of you. So what
Okay.
happens? So what are some things that happen? And spoiler, by the way, if you haven't seen Lord of the Rings,
If you haven't seen Lord of the
what
Rings.
happens in Lord of the Rings that you remember? The Fellowship of the Ring.
The Fellowship of the Ring. Okay, so now it becomes this huge journey to bring this ring that's giving Frodo bad vibes back to Mordor to destroy the ring there.
And why do they got to destroy it there?
Because that's where it's from.
Okay. And what does it do? Why do they need to destroy it besides
it's bumming everyone out. It's a
bumming
bad
everyone
vibe.
Okay.
When they have the ring around, it makes people selfish.
Sure.
It's attached to like a demonic energy,
Sure.
right?
Yeah. And what's the name of that demonic energy? The big bad in the movie.
Solomon.
Okay.
There's two bad guys named the something and something. Solomon and Solomon. They're like basically the same name, just like changed by one fucking
you're not
syllable.
wrong. Yeah.
The two bad guys, their name starts with a S. Solomon and Sol.
And what are they doing in the movie?
They are trying to get the ring.
And how are they trying to get the ring?
By releasing an army of murderous, death-looking things called orcs. Those
Okay.
are orcs,
Okay.
I believe.
Uh-huh.
And they're after Frodo and the Fellowship. So in the Fellowship, we got Orlando Bloom. We got Viggo.
And Orlando Bloom is who?
Legolas,
Okay, great.
I think. Legolas.
And Viggo, we don't know.
Viggo's just Viggo.
And then who else is in the Fellowship?
The fat kid that wears a cape. That's his friend Sam or something.
Sam.
I think his name
Okay.
might be Sam.
Yeah, who else is in the Fellowship?
I think that's it.
Okay.
Am I forgetting? It's Orlando, Viggo.
Yeah.
The fat kid named Sam. I think there might be another fat kid that also wears a cape with curly hair that's around. But
Cool.
maybe not. Okay.
That's so fun. Yeah, that's pretty much Lord of the Rings, everybody.
Babe, what you tell Lord of the
I think you told it pretty. I mean, there's a few other people. There's that little guy with the axe in the Fellowship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the Scottish one. Mm-hmm. You know?
Oh, yeah, the redhead.
Yeah, the redhead.
The Viking-looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah, he seems like a minor character.
Yeah, and then there are the two other hobbits. There's like Mary and one of them's name is Mary. Pippin, Mary and Pippin. It's like
But they're
Dominic
men,
Moynihan.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of like two fat hobbits, and they have.
They're
little
not. I don't think
capes.
they're fat.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think anyone in this movie is fat. I think
I think their hair is curly.
Sam Wise, which is played by Sean Astin.
Yeah.
Who you know from Rudy.
Yeah.
And Stranger
okay.
Things.
Okay.
He plays. Yeah, he's the chubbier of the two, and then obviously Frodo is played by
Elijah
Wood. Yeah, and that's pretty much it.
I mean, was I kind of in the vicinity of what happened?
Yeah. Was there a moment that you were sad in the movie, like something happened and?
Yes.
Yeah.
So many moments. I felt so many different emotions in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And that's what.
What do you think it was in your head versus now having seen it versus that, like knowing what it is now?
What I thought in my head was it's for people who are losers that don't have sex and they just watch wizards on TV.
Sure.
What it really was?
Yeah.
A journey. An epic journey
A
that
hero's
had
journey.
a hero's journey that had really cool scenic views
Yeah.
in New Zealand
Yeah.
and creatures that you don't get to see in this world, which I like. I love
You
an
love
elf.
a creature.
I love an elf. You know I'm an elf, bitch.
What do you know about the elves in the movie?
They eat bread. We just started the second one, right? They make their own special bread,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
it called again?
Lambdas.
Lambdas bread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's Lord of the Rings. I think.
And that's Lord of the Rings.
Are you excited to watch the second one and potentially the third?
Yeah, I actually kind of am.
They're really long. It's hard to get you to stay like vertical for 3 hours.
I get cozy.
Yeah, she needs to get horizontal.
Yeah, I need to get horizontal. I'm
Yeah.
at my best when I'm resting. Honey.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for my house shoes because
Yeah, we got you some house shoes.
I was
temporaries.
stomping around.
Yeah. Sarah likes to slide on the hardwood floors.
Yeah, like a kid.
And she's only, she either has her socks or she has like big boots on. Like if she has to go, I don't know if she has to go outside and the like go to her car in the driveway.
Yeah.
She has to go outside to do it. She'll put on these big old boots, like yin yang boots or something. And then
Yeah.
you're clomping. I hear her clomping around, but she's also wearing like, like nothing, but then boots. So we had to get you some house shoes.
So I got some house shoes.
Yeah.
And I love them. So I just wanted to say thank you for my house
Yeah.
shoes.
That's an early Christmas. It was like a Hanukkah present.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of a subtle way to get my nails in the shot.
Why don't you get a close up there? Because I think they're spectacular.
There you go.
They're like a pearlescent. Yeah.
They're fun, right?
Real nice.
Real nice. Real fun. We saw Spider-Man. Should we talk about that? Or is that a spoiler for people?
I think it's probably too early to tell people what happens in it, but I would like to have your overall impressions without any spoilers.
Okay, so I'm going to be honest with you.
Uh-oh. Is this different than what you told me earlier?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's the same.
Why am I worried?
Because the way that I said it sounded a little concerning.
Yeah, okay.
Because I'm keeping it fun and adventurous. You don't know what I'm going to say. You know what I mean?
So
Okay.
unpredictable. It's what I've been saying about you.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. When I know, and I've known that you're really into Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm an investor.
You're
which is
an investor.
Which is what I like to say.
You have dressed up as Spider-Man and gone to Comic-Con.
Yeah, I've done that.
This was my first Spider-Man experience. I didn't see any of the other Spider-Mans.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So I've just been like, okay, I don't really know. I don't really know about this whole lifestyle, the Spider-Man lifestyle. But I was fucking into it. I loved it. I thought it was.
Yeah, you were like 2 or 3 edibles deep.
entertaining.
Of course.
I loved it.
Well, I'm so happy to hear you say that. I think it's tough to talk about it without talking about some of the spoilers. But if you have seen it, you can imagine, a lot happened in this movie. And did you have sort of like an idea similar to Lord of the Rings of what it was, what Spider-Man movies were like versus what you got out of it?
Okay, I thought it was funny. I thought it was well written.
Yeah.
thought the writing was great. And then
Yep.
also I enjoyed the action of like the spider, which I wasn't expecting.
You enjoyed the action of the spider.
Yeah, like when he's like doing webs and like
Yeah.
flying and stuff.
Yes.
I wasn't anticipating to enjoy that part as much as I did.
Yeah. I think the lesson today is like we need to experience the things that we have
Without.
connotations of that are kind of like in our, because I had that same feeling about Lord of the Rings.
Do you like Lord of the Rings?
I
now?
didn't see Star Wars. And by the way, I only saw Lord of the Rings in the theater when they came out, and so now I'm rewatching and I'm like, these are good movies.
They're great.
They're well made.
They're great.
They're
The
sitting
acting,
in the 90s and Rotten Tomatoes.
They're acting incredible.
Who's your favorite?
Vigo and Elijah
Yeah, Vigo's the type of guy that you want to like.
on
You
your
know, he'll
side.
protect you. You know, he's not the most hilarious guy. He has like a zero funny bone,
Yeah.
but he'll fend off an orc army in your honor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you like those movies.
I also love Gandalf.
Yeah.
I would just want to smoke a blunt with Gandalf.
We stand a tall wizard king.
We do. I feel like he could get involved in our moon pots.
Yeah,
You know, like he
Yeah.
could show up with some potions,
for sure.
which I like. I like the idea of that. Okay, so today you mentioned something that I never had realized previously, which is that when I open the fridge,
You step in.
I step into the fridge.
I don't know if this is a function of just how small you are, but she'll open the door and then it's like this. You'll open the door and then you come in and you grab you are in, like if I could close the door behind you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're so
Yeah.
inside of the fridge when you're grabbing stuff. It's really cute.
I don't know why.
I think you just need like your hand is your reach is short, so you really need to get in there.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's frustrating because you have stuff in high places.
Yeah.
Like you have your detergent up there.
Yeah, there's no way. Like if I
If you were at work and I needed the detergent,
you get dirty clothes. You stay dirty.
or I have to get a stool or
Yeah.
a friend.
Let me ask you this. When I'm not here,
Yeah.
how often are you pulling a chair out to stand on?
I mean, well, if I want to get the pancake mix, sometimes I have to get it. I have to just
Yeah.
climb on the counter, but I have to be really careful because that's by where all your coffee stuff is.
Yeah, you're
So-
worried about like knocking it over or something.
I don't want to fucks with daddy's beans. You know what I mean?
Well, they're mommy's beans too.
Yeah, I know, but you have your setup, and I don't really
Sure.
fully understand what happens with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be like, I tried to put the lid on it the other day. You know how you said just pull off this top and then you
Yeah.
put the lid on it.
Yeah.
Right? You left. I got to put the lid on. I put the lid on backwards, and then I
Okay.
couldn't get it off, and then I started panicking, and then I
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, I gotta just figure this out on my own. I just gotta.
Right.
I can't be bothering
did.
him. And I did.
I
But-
I can't imagine what's going on when I'm gone. Like how many times you've reached for a phone to call me and then you're like, I just got to figure this out. I can't be calling him.
I have had some I love Lucy moments.
I think that's
Is what I
adorable.
would call them.
I gotta tell you, as a guy, it's nice to be needed for certain things.
Yeah.
I'm a traditional guy in that way, where I like to grab the thing up high and give it to you. You know,
Yeah, no, it works because
it's not because
like
I
having
want
you
you to
around.
need me. Yeah, yeah. I guess that
well,
is.
everything is more did people send any questions?
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm gonna pull them up right now.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What is your favorite meal when you're together? This is from Kassem Berry.
Okay.
What is your favorite meal when you're together, from restaurant or homemade? We're taking Instagram questions, by the way, and you can follow
Yeah.
Sarah at Princess Shank on
Princess
Instagram.
Shank. And your Instagram's what?
It's just Kassem G. You have to search for me. It's my name backwards because some kid squatted my name like 12 years ago.
We'll link to it in the description of the episode.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was it? The question? What is
What's your
our
favorite
foods?
meal when you're together?
There's so many.
Let's hear them.
The sushi place that we go to, I love.
Yep. We get a nice little spot.
That place is the best. Also,
Yeah.
The Italian place that delivers. Can I say the names or no?
Yeah, you can say the name of that one.
Ospie.
Yeah.
I like that place.
Yeah.
A lot.
I gotta tell you though, it is so outrageously expensive.
Yeah.
They have a $45 crab cake, but it's the best crab cake I've ever had.
But it's a $45 crab
It's $45.
cake.
Like $45 gets you. That's like dinner for two people. Like two sweet greens. Yeah.
Normal place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one crab cake, and we never just order one crab cake.
Who could order just one crab cake?
A psycho.
Lunatic.
A serial killer.
We like getting ice cream
Well,
every once in a while.
we sound so unhealthy right now. But I'd say we don't get that ice cream that much. We do have a place that we go to for a vegan Caesar salad, and then we love the bread there.
We love the bread there, and I really try not to eat bread, so I've been off. But I've been doing the Peloton.
Yesterday, you did one of the most selfless selfless acts
please
I've
tell
ever
my
seen
listeners.
you. Yeah. You guys, I'm such a lucky guy. I got two croissants from this place, and the croissants at this place are so good. They are really tough to share because you generally, like, once you have a bite, like I just finished one before I got on the pod. But so I bought two. I had mine, and then I was on my way to work, and she gives me half of hers. It's the most selfless act. And then what happened when I left?
What do you mean?
Well, what?
Oh, then I regretted it. I was like, damn, I missed the croissant.
Yeah.
But I was like, didn't I tell you? I was like, I've been thinking about that
When
croissant.
I came home, yeah.
Yeah.
You told me how much you were thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I left, I was like enjoying it, and I was like, I can't believe she gave this up. Every bite's just flaky enough. It's got enough. Oh.
It's so good. And that
Yeah.
and if I could have that croissant every day, I would. I think I'm just going to have to do the Peloton every day.
Yeah. Well, you do, and we do. We eat the croissant just about every day.
Often.
Yeah. And then you're on the bike. I'm so proud of you. You're on this bike 5 to 6 days a week. You are challenging yourself. You're sometimes you'll pick a ride that you absolutely hate with an instructor that you can't stand.
Like today.
And then I'll look over if I'm playing Rocket League or something, and you're just shaking your head. You're like, I hate it.
Yeah.
They're playing Bruce Springsteen, but not a good Bruce Springsteen song.
Yeah, it was some B-sides Bruce, and this woman is getting emotional during the ride. It was like, no one wants to see you get emotional, honey, with 60 minutes of sweating. I need you to get my ass fired up. I don't need some B-sides Bruce Springsteen with this menopausal bitch crying.
Get her. Drag her, queen.
You know what I mean? I was like, listen, honey, this is not the time or the place for this. Cry when the camera's off.
There's a surprisingly large amount of rides on Peloton where the instructor cries. It's part of their whole thing. Because people go and they're like, oh my God, they're connecting with the music. And there's something about physically exerting yourself at the same time where, like, normally we bottle things up, and then so when you're moving.
I've cried before.
On the bike?
Yeah, I've cried before on the bike.
There was one I did was a Chris Cornell ride.
Yeah.
You remember that one?
Yeah.
You could hear it.
Yeah.
While I was on it, and she was talking about how, like, she was invited to a Chris Cornell show, and, like, she had to take a moment. She had to do one of these.
While she's on the bike.
She had to take a moment but it's also when they're taking a moment, their legs are can't really see it. Their legs are still going really fast, but they're trying to have a somber moment. And it's insane. It's insane how many of these rides involve our instructors crying.
Or sometimes they just do the moves, and I'm like, I can't believe they just did that move comfortably.
Like what? What's a move?
They'll put on. I'll show you. It'll be like, it's just a random, what's a good song?
I'm so excited for this.
It'll be like an Ariana Grande song, right? And then the instructor will just be like, and I'm like, what was that? What? It felt I feel uncomfortable sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
that's an Allie Love move. That's an Allie Love move.
They'll do like these cringy moves. And and sometimes when I'm alone in here and you're not playing Rocket League, I'll drop a move.
Oh,
I've dropped moves that you haven't
seen. The level of comfort
the
that I'm trying to achieve with you is I want you to be able to do that while I'm in the room. You sometimes feel so silly.
I do.
Yeah, but you got to know it's a safe place.
Safe place. It's a silly zone.
So proud of you and what you've been able to do on this bike. You know, you just hit 50 rides.
I hit 50 rides.
That's more than me, and I've had the bike since January.
You're also at 50 rides.
Oh, you checked?
Yeah.
Oh.
I did.
Just to know?
No, because
just to know you're better?
No, because I got excited that I did 50.
You crushed it. I went through a period where I was on the bike several times a week, and then I just stopped.
I do it because it makes my mental health better.
Yeah. You've been so lucid and even keel since you've been on this bike. I got more questions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's hear them. Let's see if I got any. All my questions are like inappropriate.
Yeah, what's an example of inappropriate?
Let's see. Let's see if I have any.
I think there's a couple from this one particular guy on here who's trying to get us to fight.
What is it saying?
Who is more vain?
Who is more vain?
Yeah.
Out of the two of us?
Yeah.
Probably me.
Who has a bigger vocabulary?
Probably you.
Who would win in a thumb war?
Probably you.
That would be me. That's the only one I really feel comfortable answering because I've got these big old flappy.
If you were to listen to my vocabulary, you would think I was a lot dumber than I am.
You're actually very smart.
I am.
But
smart.
I think because you have that Valley accent, people associate it with like, oh, she's probably just one of these ditzy
hoes.
The cheerleader chicks that grew up in the Valley.
Yeah, but no, I wasn't a cheerleader, honey. I wasn't a cheerleader, and I wasn't a theater kid either.
What were you?
Somewhere in the middle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the
Sara
middle. Is that your
Weinshenk
special?
story.
Is that going to be the name of your special?
Yeah.
Somewhere in the middle.
All right, well, let's wrap it up, I think.
You think so?
I think so.
We're,
do we have any other good questions, or are those...
I feel like I had some things I wanted to bring up, and then they've all escaped me.
Oh, I know. I wrote it down. How you fundamentally disagree.
Oh.
With.
We're going to be coming up on an hour.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I don't know how we got started on this conversation, but I think we started talking about death.
Or the singularity.
We started talking about the singularity.
As you do.
Yeah, I mean, I watched this movie Transcendent Man years ago, and it's about this guy Ray Kurzweil he's a genius, but he's also like a futurist, and he's the one that coined this term, the singularity, which is the point in which AI, artificial intelligence, outsmarts human beings. Mm-hmm. And when that happens, one of two things will happen. We'll either be lifted up into some crazy utopia, or they'll get so smart they'll look at us like how we look at ants, and just see a nuisance.
So they'll take us over?
And they'll get rid of us, So in this documentary, there are other smart guys that have differing points of view. There are the guys that think that we're headed for a dystopian future, especially the way China is working with AI. They sort of have this mentality of we're just going to make it, Mm-hmm. We're going to make it so our country will see the biggest advantages that it can, but with no thought to should we put limits on it in any way. Mm-hmm. They're just trying to do it first. They're just trying to do it. And then you've got people on the West and people like Elon Musk who have brought up the fact that we need to think about what we do with artificial intelligence because potentially we are creating gods and the things that will destroy us.
Right. Okay.
But the other thing in this movie is Ray Kurzweil, and much like myself, fundamentally disagree with the idea of death. We shouldn't have to deal with loss and death. It's the most traumatic thing somebody can go through. Like when our parents die or when we lose a brother or a friend or something unexpectedly.
Right.
It is a trauma that we should never have to experience. So it's his idea that one day we will all live in a cloud where our brains are kind of connected into like almost like the Matrix, where we might not know the difference.
So our consciousness
is uploaded into a cloud, and we are all, and there's like a Black Mirror episode that's kind of deals
like
with this
this
stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't disagree with him. I don't think death, I don't want to have to deal with death. The idea of death is hard for me to.
Right, but don't you think instead of trying to live on a cloud for forever, you lean into what makes you feel uncomfortable about death and read about it and try to understand it in some way?
That's something people say to cope.
Well, no,
I don't want to cope. I want to live forever.
Isn't that being in denial of reality?
I understand the reality currently is that I will die.
Right.
But I don't think that will be the case for humans. My biggest fear is that we're alive too early for this technology.
So basically,
one day we'll all be able to be uploaded in the cloud. And so part of what I'm doing right now
and you have me doing.
We're doing as many podcasts as we can. So our voice and our thoughts are on video
on the cloud.
And so we can have an easier transition into the cloud. And so I thought maybe every night we could run through
the alphabet. So before bed, we use this running joke where he'll just be like, but, or like, yeah, he'll just make sounds and say that he's making noises for the cloud. And then I started doing it too. So now we just say different words that we're trying to get to have on the cloud so that we can live for forever and transcend death.
The idea is exactly.
Yeah.
The idea is that we have ourselves on camera saying all the sounds we would ever need to say so the cloud can create sentences
for us.
You know? And so then the conversation turned to like, well, would we just say every word ever, or would we do sounds like n, ni, na, you know, and have the AI sift through it and take all the sounds we've made and then make sentences from it.
Well, we've been doing both.
We've been doing both because we're not smart enough to know.
We're insane. We're doing this.
We're not even recording it. We're just doing it in bed.
Yeah. As a running joke.
Yeah.
But it's so funny. It makes me laugh every time.
Plumber, platypus, public, pubic. Yeah, we're going through it.
I did fuck the other day. I was like, I definitely want to have fucking, fucked.
Yeah. Don't call, like, I can't come out tonight. Don't call me. I'm doing my sounds. I'm on my T's tonight. I'm doing my T's.
That's so funny.
And the way this pandemic looks like it's shaping up, we're going in for another round of potential lockdowns. We're going to have plenty of time. We're going to have plenty of time to record our sounds.
We're going to be recording our sounds every day.
Yeah.
That's how we cope. We're going to live forever on the cloud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't bother us. We're recording sounds for
We're
the
doing
cloud.
our sounds.
Yeah. Where can people find you?
I'm at Kassem G on most things, and then I'm on Attack of the Show on G4 TV every Thursday, and Invitation to Party every Friday.
Where can people watch you on Attack of the Show? G4?
Yep, G4 TV on Twitch or YouTube, or you can check your local cable listings if you have certain cable companies.
Cool. We'll link to that, and then also to your podcast, Pajama Pants.
And Pajama Pants podcast, which, you know, I've seen some Shank viewers come into the.
You have some
the
crossover?
Pajama Pants verse, yeah.
Yeah,
hopefully vice versa.
Yeah, totally. Such a fun podcast to do. You guys just had an episode that came out with Josh Potter.
Yeah, we have a new one. So this comes out. So yeah, we have one that just came out yesterday on our YouTube with Josh Potter, the one in the gray that you guys have seen on Shank. And it was a great pod. Me, Robin, and Potter.
That's a great pod.
Great pod.
I want to listen to that pod. Yeah. So if you're a Potter fan, check them out on Pajama Pants. Make sure to subscribe, rate, review, tell your friends about Shank. Also, Kim and I renamed our podcast to This Bitch. So if you're looking for Thicky, Kimmy, and Shank, it's now This Bitch. We feel like that's better. It's easier for everybody. And new episodes of that podcast come out every Monday. And you can check me out on Instagram, Princess Shank, for show dates and tour dates. On Twitter, Princess Shank as well. And we'll see you next week. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.